Part 5. Garton saw the two of them, Mellon and Haggerty, mincing along with their arms about each other's waists and giggling like a couple of girls. At first he actually thought they were a couple of girls. Then he recognized Mellon, who had been pointed out to him before, and as he looked he saw Mellon turn to Haggerty, and they kissed briefly. "Oh, man, I'm gonna barf!" Webby cried, disgusted. Chris Unwin and Steve Dubé were with him. When Webby pointed out Mellon, Steve Dubé said they thought the other fag was named Don somebody. And then he picked up a kid from Derry High hitching and tried to put a few moves on it. Mellon and Haggerty began to move toward the three boys again, walking away from the Pitch Till You Win and toward the Carney's exit. Webby Garton would later tell Officers Hughes and Conley that his civic pride had been wounded by seeing a fucking faggot wearing a hat which said "I love Derry." It was a silly thing, that hat. Paper imitation of a top hat with a great big flower sticking up from the top and nodding about in every direction. The silliness of the hat apparently wounded Webby's civic pride even more. As Mellon and Haggerty passed, each with his arm linked about each other's waist, Webby Garton yelled out, "Ought to make you eat that hat, you fucking ass bandit!" Mellon turned toward Garton, fluttered his eyes flirtatiously, and said, "If you want something to eat, hun, I can find something much tastier than my hat." At this point, Webby Garton decided he was going to rearrange the faggot's face. In the geography of Mellon's face, mountains would rise and continents would drift. Nobody suggested he set the mood. Nobody. He started toward Mellon. Mellon's friend Haggerty, alarmed, attempted to pull Mellon away, but Mellon stood his ground, smiling. Garton would later tell Officers Hughes and Conley that he was pretty sure Mellon was high on something. So he was. Haggerty would agree. When this idea was passed on to him by Officers Gardner and Reeves, he was high on 2 fried doughboys smeared with honey on the carnival on the whole day. He'd been consequently unable to recognize the real menace which Webby Garton represented. "But that was Adrian," Don said, using a tissue to wipe his eyes and smearing the spangled eyeshadow he was wearing. He didn't have much in the way of protective coloration. He was one of those fools who thinks that things really are going to turn out all right. He might have been badly hurt. Now and then, Garton hadn't felt something tap his elbow. It was a nightstick. He turned his head to see Officer Frank Mackin, another member of Derry's finest. "Never mind, little buddy," Mackin told Garton. "Mind your business and leave those little gay boyos alone. Have some fun." "Did you hear what he called me?" Garton asked Father. He was now joined by Unwin and Dubé, 2 of them. Smelling Trouble tried to urge Garton on up the midway, but Garton shrugged them away. He would have turned on them with his fist if they persisted. His masculinity had borne an insult which he felt he must be avenged. Nobody suggested he suck the root. Nobody. "I don't believe he called you anything," Mackin replied. "And you spoke to him first, I believe. Now move on, Sonny. I don't want to tell you again." "He called me a queer." "Are you worried you might be then?" Mackin asked, seemed honestly interested, and Garton flushed a deep, ugly red. During this exchange, Haggerty was trying with increasing desperation to pull Adrian Mellon away from the scene. Now at last Mellon was leaving. "Ta-ta, love," Adrian called cheekily over his shoulder. "Shut up, candy ass," Mackin said. "Get out of here." Garton made a lunge at Mellon, and Mackin grabbed him. "I can run you in, my friend," Mackin said, "and the way you're acting, it might not be such a bad idea." "Next time I see you, I'm gonna hurt you," Garton bellowed after the parting pair. Heads turned to stare at him. "And if you're wearing that hat, I'm gonna kill you. This town don't need no faggots like you." Without turning, Mellon waggled the fingers on his left hand. The nails were painted cerise, and put an extra little wiggle in his walk. Garton plunged again. "One more word or one more move, and you go, and in you go," Mackin said mildly. "Trust me, my boy, for I mean exactly what I say." "Oh, Webby," Chris Unwin said uneasily. "No. You like guys like that?" Webby asked Mackin, ignoring Chris and Steve completely. "Huh?" "About the bum punchers, I'm neutral," Mackin said. "What I'm really in favor of is peace and quiet, and you're upsetting what I like, pizza face. Now, do you want to go around with me or what?" "Come on, Webby," Steve Dubé said quietly. "Let's go get some hot dogs." Webby went, straightening his shirt with exaggerated moves and brushing his hair out of his eyes. Mackin, who also gave a statement the morning following Mellon, Adrian Mellon's desk said. The last thing I heard him say as he and his buddies walked off was, "Next time I see him, he's going to be in serious hurt."